Hey yo, divine earthlings of the universe. What is up? What is up? What is up? I do hope that you all are having a good day, a good night, whatever time it is for you. Peace, love, light, blessings, and namaste to you all. Today is August 23rd. It's a Saturday. Grand day to you. Yesterday was a portal, 822 portal. So I haven't posted in a minute. Been very busy this week, so that is why I haven't really posted. But I'm here today to do a message. I wrote down some energy that I was receiving throughout the time that I haven't posted, so I'm going to kind of go into that today. Before I do start, I do want to advise my disclaimers. I am not a psychic. I am just a messenger here to provide the purest love and light vibes from the Most High Creator, my spiritual team, guides, God, Gaia, the universe, the Most High Source, in the purest love energy possible. Therefore, we remove any dark entities, dark energies, evil eye vibes, evil eye vibers, and negativity from this space. We keep it divinely protected in the love, light, and glow of the Most High Creator and our spiritual team and our archangels as well. And our ancestors. So we're going to clear the energy out. Let me actually open my window. All right. Clear the energy out. And this is in no way, shape, or form to impose my feelings, thoughts, beliefs into your life. This is never to do that. It is just a channel energy that I'm receiving in this moment, time, and space. So take it as it resonates. If the Cinderella slipper don't fit, don't force it. If you don't like the food on the plate, don't eat it. I may not be the reader for you. You may not vibe my vibe, and that is totally cool. Like, find the reader that is best for you. Keep in mind that your free will, intuition, and discernment are key factors. All right. On this journey. This is a non-judgment zone. It's a healing zone, a clarity zone, an uplifting zone, a zen zone, creative zone, inspiring zone, whatever zone you may need. I'm here in the isolation zone as well. I actually wrote down isolation on one of the messages I channeled. So this is a zone if you feel isolated, but not. Isolation can mean a lot of different things. Maybe you isolated due to some trauma. Maybe you isolated due to healing yourself. Maybe you've isolated due to just liking your peace of mind. Maybe you've isolated just to soul search or meditate, whatever it is. But this could be that zone that you're in at this current moment. Yeah. But this is a free zone, a free spirit zone. We never judge over here at Amalgam Divinity Glow. All right. Just going with the flow of the energy. And the flow of the energy today. Yeah. Did I say I'm not a psychic? I'm just a messenger. Y'all, I'm just putting out the messages, okay? I'm hearing don't shoot the messenger. And see, you're a messenger that people, 333 on the timer, when I said that, you're a messenger that people possibly want to aim at. You get what I mean? And they can aim at you in all different directions, whether it be sneaking up on you or you see it coming. All right. So you're an aim, you're a target. And then also it could be in a negative way or in a positive way. Your light is a target. Your messages trigger people. That's why people want to aim at you, because your messages trigger them. So that could also create isolation, right? When you start to see people get triggered by just who you are, by your light. And that is the time that we're in. Maybe in this time as well, it's a lot of darker entities roaming around here, trying to create fear in the world and chaos. So that could be another reason why you're isolated. All right, Spirit, we clearing the energy out. Thank you for the message so far. 444 on the timer. Thank you, spiritual team, for the protection and the guidance for today's message. All right, I'm hearing I may not be everybody's cup of tea, and you may not be everybody's cup of tea. Speaking of, I'm getting my spill the tea. I got an oracle deck about tea. Oh, y'all, this is, I cannot. The tea leaf oracle. I didn't even know that's the first deck I pulled down. See what I'm telling you? I already had a deck out that I'm going to use as well. And look at this. Oh, as I pick up the deck, look at this. These two cards stayed on the table. And I actually, these two cards, the way they are, look, they like not even in the right direction. That's crazy. High Priestess and Eight of Pentacles. You was building something, High Priestess or High Priest, however you identify yourself. The Hierophant is on your side. Thank you, Spirit. There is judgment here in this world. Oh my God, in the Wheel of Fortune. In the world. Oh my gosh. Yo, this reading already starting out the gate like, whew. Yeah, man. This is crazy. This is the tea. People want to know the tea on you, High Priestess or High Priest. But you ain't probably saying too much. I'm hearing the Luther Vandross song. Never too much, never too much. Dun, 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 dun. I don't even know where my other phone is at, which I'm kind of irritated about because I know I need to look up some messages here. Hold on, y'all. Oh, here it is. Let me get it charged. Let me write down Luther Vandross, Never Too Much, because I'm being called to look up those lyrics. And y'all know, if y'all been watching, I'm very forgetful. Luther. I say Luther, but it's Luther. Luther Vandross. Never Too Much. See, some people probably thought you was just too much. Your High Priestess gifts was just too much. But spiritual team and the Most High Creator is telling me it's never too much. Hey, that's deep. You ain't never too much. You might be too much for people who ain't ready to hear the truth. Okay? You might be too much for those people. Your energy might be too much for people to grasp, for people to understand. Because why? You call judgment. You blow the trumpet. You're one of the Most High Creator's judgment callers, okay? And your Wheel of Fortune, you bring this world fortune. That's why we saw the world card. Where did that card go? I got so much stuff already coming at me. The world card, look. Oh yeah, and the 10 of, oh shit. 10 of Pentacles showing up. You are, oh, this reading is so powerful. Wow. The world is watching you. And you got watchers watching you too. Because you too much for them to grasp and understand and understand the capability of your compassion. How can one be so compassionate to the world that's so evil? 8:22 on the timer. Thank you, Spirit, at 8:23 today. I told y'all yesterday was a portal. I just saw 8:22 on this timer. You've transitioned into a whole portal of possibly isolation, but it's protection. Because the world is watching you, and you have watchers that have been sent out to also spy on you, lie on you, take from you, or even get inspired by you. It's not all negative, not all, but it ain't all positive either. I'm hearing it's a positive and negative reaction. What is that in science, y'all? I'm not not really science savvy at the moment here, but chemistry class or biology or whatever class of science, it's like a positive and a negative electrons or something. Am I in the right area? Who knows? But we gonna see once this phone come on. Let me actually write that down too, because people want to know the tea on you, because you too much to handle. Let me see, positive and negative electrons. If I am in the right area, I'm gonna Google that. So with these cards even coming up before I even shuffle, it's just like, wow, these two cards stayed on the table, the High Priestess and the 8 of Pentacles. just by picking up the deck. And that looked like what I'm doing right now, right? So you could be a reader here. You building, you working on something. You're working on something, you're building something behind the scenes. 10-10 on a timer. You're ending something to build something. Thank you, spiritual team. There, it seems like things have been ending all over in your life. It seems like the world, again, you're on top of the world. It seems like the world is ending. But as the world seems like it's ending, guess what? Your spirit is too much and people want to watch and see and find out who you are. The Most High is putting you on top of the globe as a light seer. You're enlightened. Look at her head. Your crown, your energy, your focus. I'm hearing laser focus. People got laser focus on you. You know, like a camera when you're trying to get the focus from being blurry. You're making people's focus become clear during this blurry time in this energy, in this energetic field of the world right now. I saw 1101 on the timer as I said that, and here we are at 1111 now. You're a wish come true for this world, to visualize a better world. But people think that that's too much, because in order to visualize a better world, guess what? 1122 on the timer. I keep seeing these angel numbers, and y'all, it was 1122 when I actually sat down to pray over this reading, and I can't kid you. So I had to change my pen color, but it's 8:23, and early this morning I was up real late, but I saw 1:33 a.m. then I saw 1:44 a.m. and then it was 11:22 a.m. when I started to do this message. So the fact that I just saw 11:22, man, bye. This is when I saw 1:44 a.m. I'm like, okay. And now that I'm here in this message, excuse me, sniffling. Now that I'm here for this message, I was like, oh yeah, when I wrote down that, I said, this might be for the 144,000 collective that are actually on this mission and that the world is watching right now. I'm hearing that the world anticipates, and that the world, it's like anticipation. I'm hearing exhilaration too. Yeah. So you bring in a sound foundation without making a sound at all. 12:44 on the timer. Yeah. You're bringing sound foundations as a high priestess. Your wisdom, your qualities. I'm hearing you don't have any expectations. But sometimes people expect you to be the end all be all, when you're just doing you and birthing out like real vibes into the world. But you're doing it in a poise, like you have this particular stance about yourself that's very alluring. Again, why people want to watch you, and that laser focus view onto you to get that blurry focus more clear. You bring clarity to humanity, which is why humanity is watching you sitting on top of the globe, because that's where the Most High puts you. So some people are like, how is that? Like, this person, how can they be on top of the globe when they don't make a sound, when they're not loud out here creating all this chaos? Or if they not in the in crowd, how can they be out here being on top of the world if they ain't on social media so the world can see them? How are they being seen if they're not in the in crowd? How are they being seen if they're not the popular person on TV? How are they being seen if they don't have an entourage around them all the time? How are they being seen if they're quiet? Because you're the wallflower that stands out, boo. You know, they always say the wallflowers, like when I was, and speaking of wallflowers, I love that band. Jacob Dylan. His dad is Bob Dylan. I didn't really listen to Bob Dylan music, but I love the wallflowers with Jacob Dylan. His raspy voice. Man, that dude, those songs hit when I was younger. I'm somebody who listens to a whole genre of music. I can listen to anything as long as it's good vibes, good energy, or uplifts me, or makes me feel like alive, or gives me something, some nourishment. And see, you connect with all genres of people in humanity. You get what I mean? You're the connector of dots here. You're the connector to source as well. So, yeah, thank you, Spirit. I see what you're doing. So, my hand went right to the source because the Hierophant showed up too. The Hierophant got your back. The Hierophant works with you, High Priestess, High Priest. The Hierophant is working with you as you build up yourself first. Thank you, spiritual team. That's why you have to be in isolation. So the Hierophant can work with you to learn how to build and create and go forward in your vision, in your mission, and how to heal and uplift humanity and enlighten them through this dark times that we're in. That is why the Wheel of Fortune is on your side. That's why you still gonna be fortunate. No matter how dark this world may get, your fortune is endless. It may not look like it on the paper scene if you looking at your check and like, oh man, this is $0.00, but I worked 40 hours. How is that possible? Excuse me, spiritual burp, it's possible. Okay, spiritual team said it's possible, boo. Because we, the Most High, got you. It's time. They said we got you. You ain't building by yourself. No, it might feel like you building by yourself because you're isolated. Now this is a full circle message. You see what I'm saying? That's the T. Now people want to get the T on you because you building by yourself in isolation, but you with the Most High. And you're not isolated, like I said earlier, you're not isolated out of anything negative. It could be a positive isolation, but a lot of people won't understand it. Because what you're building cannot be disrupted anymore with corruption, with people draining your energy, with you getting off track, off the grid because of other people's endeavors that you're either pursuing or that keep coming to you. You know, people, I'm hearing people watchers like to distract. I had a conversation yesterday with a beautiful spirit, love her dearly. And we were just talking about our spiritual path and just how we try to navigate in this time of being an empath, and you feel energy so profoundly, so heavy. Like, y'all, I had a call the other day. This lady was so rude. Y'all, and I could listen to my calls where I work. I could listen to my calls and I listened back to it just to see how I sounded. And plus I had to listen back to it anyway because she had said something that I missed and I needed to document it. So I listened to the call. You listen to your call too. You hear what I'm saying? Dual message. I had to listen back to the call to see how I sounded. And see, you are listening to your call and you're working on it with the Most High. The Most High is calling you to work on something, to listen to yourself, and to see how you respond. 1844 on the timer. Spiritual team wants to see how you're responding to the calls. So as I listen to this call, y'all, let me tell you, this is crazy how this is a full circle message. I don't know why I always get surprised with my messages because they be so deep. And I'm like, dang, yo, like this is deep as shit. And I knew this was going to be a deep message. I felt it because the portal was yesterday and I didn't get to do a message because I've been really, really busy. And today I didn't know how the day was going to start. I was actually about to go to the store, take some things back. But spiritual team said, wait. And then my little nieces and nephews, the house kind of quiet, you know, today for now. So if anybody comes in and it gets loud and rowdy, I do apologize ahead of time because it do be getting noisy here. But, and I do want to thank everybody for just joining today and vibing the channel, supporting it. If you vibe it, you can always thumbs it up. It does help circulate the message to get out to whoever may need it. So thank you for that. I appreciate each and every one of you. It's always a humble honor and a humble experience to connect and just to deliver the message to anyone that the Most High is calling to or trying to reach out to. So you can always email me if you want to reach me. I do not have comments on my post. It's just a preference because I'm just focused on the message. But I know comments, people say, oh, if people comment on it, it helps circulate your messages, your videos. Okay, that's cool. But I have had comments on before, but it's like, some of the comments can be a little, which to each their own with an opinion. But this is not an opinion for me. This is just a message that I'm called to do. Everybody can have their opinion about me, and that's fine. Because again, I may not be the reader for you. I see the number fluctuate all the time. I may not be for everybody, and that's fine. I am just here to deliver what I'm here to deliver for the Most High Creator, and that's it. So, anywho, the world is watching you, boo. So I get back to this call, right? This lady, they're like, yeah, because I work in the insurance field. So she was a member, and she was concerned why her appointment was held up and why something wasn't approved for her to, her procedure and all this. I'm trying to say it without, HIPAA, violating HIPAA and things like that. So she just basically wanted to see why something wasn't approved and her appointment was coming up. But her husband was on the phone. And her husband, they're like, yeah, her husband's on the phone and he's speaking on her behalf. I was like, well, is the member there because I need to get consent? Oh, yeah, she's in the background. Okay, cool. Get on the phone, husband. Hey, sir, blah, blah, blah. Is she available so I can have consent to speak to you? Sure, let me go get her. And I could hear her already huff in the back like, well, I'm on a call. I can't. I'm in a meeting. That's why I didn't want to talk. That's why my husband's talking to you. And from the jump, I'm like, oh, okay. So you already, I already felt the little tension here. So I already knew what I was listening to the energy of her voice. And I could tell that it was going to be a call. Like she probably was going to get heated. So proceeding forward, I still verify her information, even though she was a little antsy. And then she's like, well, okay, let me just hang up. I'll call you back. I have to get on this call. And she's like, yes, ma'am, I'm here. And I was like, okay, I understand. I said, can you please also confirm your address and the best contact number for yourself? She said it so fast. I was like, okay. And so I look at the case and I'm like, well, it looks like we received this on such and such date. However, we did not receive the clinicals until such and such date, which it is in review, but the clinicals, we just got them. Well, why is that? Because my doctor texted me on Tuesday last week that they submitted it. I said, and I understand the frustration. I do apologize. However, from our system and when it's input, that we take all that into consideration. So technically, even though they told you they did that on Tuesday, they actually didn't call it in until Wednesday. And our case numbers start with the date. You can't lie about that, right? And I was trying to explain that to her, like in the, well, I see where your frustration. However, we didn't receive this until the next day. So if they did text you, we didn't receive it until the next day. Well, that's a lag on your end. That's a lag on your side. That is not the fault of myself, nor is it the fault of my doctor. This is your company's fault. I was like, okay, ma'am, I do understand. Again, now I can reach out to the nurse in charge and let them know about your case, and we can move forward that way, and I'll definitely do that for you so they can contact you as soon as possible. Well, yeah, no. And she started saying something else. And I was like, she's like, well, my appointment's coming up and I need this to be approved because this is the second time this has happened and blah, 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 blah. And I was listening and I was like, okay, ma'am, yes, I do understand the frustration. I was like, technically they do not expedite a review due to data service, and your case was entered as standard. And it was a phone call, so your doctor's office actually called it in. The next day after they told you, they text you that they submitted it on Tuesday, but they didn't call until Wednesday. And I explained that to her in the nicest way, the nicest tone. Like I talk just like this, you know. I've learned all the years in customer service, and those of you who work in customer service or call center type jobs, you already know people will test your patience all the time. Okay. Drop a like for that just alone. Okay, because people will test the patience all the time. So it's like, how do you deal with an angry, disgruntled person? I'm hearing human being, and it's just like dealing with them out here in this world. How do you deal with disgruntled, angry, evil-minded, or just negative vibe people? Like, people live their life like that. They really do. It's crazy. It's cray-cray. Every morning you waking up just to like be mean and mad. Okay, have at it with yourself. Look in the mirror, boo-boo. It's time to reflect and self-reflect. So even during that call, y'all, spiritual team said, this lady about to self-reflect how she treated you. So in the midst of that, I think somebody just came here. See, I told y'all people be coming. So then in the midst of this, y'all, I'm like, okay, ma'am, yes, I do understand. Technically, they don't expedite due to data service, but I can still reach out to your nurse. She cuts me off. Well, that is just the fault of your company. That is not the fault of myself, nor is it the fault of my doctor. And y'all need to figure that out, because y'all cannot hold up patient care. And I was like, yes, ma'am. And I was trying to say something to her, like, we're not trying to hold up your care. I'm just trying to explain to you just what I'm reading here and being honest with you about when we received the case in the clinicals. And she was like, she kept talking, and I was trying to like respond, but she was like, hey, let me talk. Please don't interrupt me. I didn't interrupt you, so don't interrupt me. And after that, I didn't say anything. Thank you, spiritual team, how this connects to the message, yo. You don't say anything when people get disgruntled. Spirit said, shh. And y'all, literally, let me see if I can find this. Literally the day before that, it was a reel that was so hilarious to me. And I had watched it the day before this happened. And it was so funny because this girl, let me see. Man, I hope I see this old phone. I don't think it's going to update. And I can't really find it. But either way, it was this reel about this girl taking her first call at a call center. And she was like already nervous about taking this first call at the call center. So she did like a little reel about how it can happen where your first call ever at a job could be a disgruntled, rude ass person. Excuse my language. So she was like, hi, this is Brianna. I don't care what your name is. Where it's going on. And like, it was so funny, but it wasn't funny because this really happens. And the girl's face was like, oh my God. Like she was like panicking, like trying to figure out what to do. Well, yes, ma'am, I don't care. You need to let me speak to a supervisor because blah, 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 blah. It was so hilarious. And I could not stop laughing. I wish, man, let me see if I can find it. I literally could not stop laughing. Let me see. No. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to find it. Excuse me. No, man, I hate that I can't find it on this call. On this video. But anyway, y'all, I'm gonna have to come back and do another message. I really don't want to. Let me see. And I don't want to break this message because it was so funny, yo. It was just hilarious. So anyway, the girl on the reel, she was just like panicking because she didn't know how to handle it, and that was her very first call. So she put her on hold, and she had to take a deep breath before she went back to the caller. And even when she went back to the caller, because she was trying to say, okay, I'm gonna place you on a brief hold, and she just did it as the caller was still yelling. So then she was like, and like trying to type for Teams and ask her team like, hey. And then she goes back on the phone like, hey, this is why you had me on hold for 5 minutes. Y'all, it was maybe not even a minute. So the lady exaggerated about how long she was even on hold. Again, this is a reel. It wasn't real, but it was just like a funny reel about how this happens. So in the midst of my actual call in real life with this lady yelling at me, I thought about that reel. And when she said, I didn't interrupt you, so don't interrupt me, I put her on hold. I mean, I didn't put her on hold. I went silent. And as I went silent, she went on about how she's been working in the medical field, how you cannot terminate patient care or delay patient care, and you're supposed to expedite it if the patient needs to expedite it, and blah blah blah. You know, and she said, I will talk to a supervisor. I've been in claims 15 years. I've done claims and medical and blah 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 blah. Like just running down her credentials and why she knows what we're doing is incorrect. Somebody's sitting over there on your staff. They're not doing their job. No, actually, your doctor's office is not doing their job because they lied to you about submitting your case and they didn't. We didn't call. We don't know that you got an appointment coming up unless they contact us. And this was a phone call. We do electronic submissions as well, but this was a phone call. So there's no way they can lie and say that, yo, we submitted this electronically. Even if we get it electronically, we get it like that. We get a lot of electronic, like it comes through. Now, when it comes to medical records, they waited 3 days before they submitted your records. It's already been assigned to a nurse because that get assigned like within minutes after we even submit it off. Within 10 minutes of me completing the call, it's already a nurse assigned. So we're already on it. But see, these doctors will lie on our company a lot of times from what I'm seeing, just to say, no, that's not true. So you confront you have to deal with a lot of liars, and you have to deal with a lot of people coming at you. So that could be why you as a high priestess or high priest can go silent, because people demand you to figure it out. And I said something about that earlier, which is why you could go into isolation. So in the midst of this call, she did her rant for maybe two minutes. She rant and I didn't say anything. So after that, it was like a break. I could hear her like slowing down with her rant. So I said, okay, ma'am, can I respond now to you? Is that okay? Yeah, that's fine. Okay, ma'am, I understand your frustration. And as I mentioned to you, we did not receive your case until this date, and we did not receive records until this date. Therefore, we didn't have that even to review for you. Now, well, and then I was going to say something else, and y'all, she interrupted me. She goes, well, that's because somebody in your office is just lazy sitting on a job, because those records were uploaded, because blah, blah, blah. I got a text message from my doctor, and she kept going. I was like, okay, man, would you like to speak to the supervisor? Because she had already said she wanted to. I was like, okay, ma'am, so did you want to speak to Yes, I want to speak to the supervisor. Okay, hold on one moment, ma'am. Put her on hold. Y'all, I had to do with that reel and just breathe. That was the hardest breath in the world, y'all. My fingers, I was trying to type to my team lead. My fingers was going like I couldn't even keep my finger. I was like, yo, this is not my energy. Oh my goodness. Like her energy came through that phone trying to attack and direct my moves and yell back or whatever. But Spirit told me to go silent. And I had to see that reel the day before that because I was about to deal with that in real life less than 24 hours later. So that reel actually helped me calm down, and I breathed and I was like, what's the ironicness of that? The irony of that. Getting a call right after I see, so I was like, wow, okay. I reached out to my team lead. She was on lunch. I reached out to my actual manager. She was in a meeting. I'm like, okay. I reached out to this girl I had that helped me in my training. And she was like, oh my God, no, really? I was like, yeah. She's like, she was trying to like look and see and help me figure out something. And she's like, well, you know what? Just expedite it. She said, get back on a call with her and say, okay, ma'am, I expedited it for you, blah, blah, blah. I reached out to the nurse, which I was saying that to her at the beginning of the call, but she just wasn't listening. So I know I'm saying this whole story and letting y'all tell you, but it's a part of the message. Okay. And so I was like, okay, that's what I'm gonna do. Cause nobody had got back to me. I was like, yep, I'm gonna just expedite it. Let her know. She's like, yeah, just do that. Don't even worry about it, girl. Just breathe and do what you got to do. Expedite it. And at this point, I didn't realize the whole time was 7 minutes. She was on hold for 7 minutes. And I was like, dang, she been on hold for 7 minutes. I said, now she really going to be irritated. I said, so let me get back on this call with her. She's like, yeah, don't even worry about it. Just tell you expedited it. That's why it took so long. I'm like, okay. And so I'm surprised she didn't hang up. The lady stood there, like she literally waited for 7 minutes. And I think the first 2 or 3 minutes I was breathing. So that took up time. And then the last 4 minutes or so, I was on the phone getting assistance from my coworker. And I get back on the call and I'm like, hello, say her name. Hi, you still there? Yes. Okay, I do apologize for the long hold time. So what I've done here is expedited your case for the review. The nurse should be contacting you soon. Is there anything else I can assist you with today? That's all I said. She was like, well, no, thank you. I do appreciate that. Nope, there's nothing else. I don't even think she said thank you, actually. She's like, oh, no, I appreciate that. But yeah, that's all I needed. She probably did say thank you. I don't know. Yeah. And I'm on the other end, like, and even when she was venting, before I put her on hold, I put myself on mute so I could breathe. While she was venting, I was breathing. So she couldn't hear me like exhale, because I had to take some deep exhales. My energy was like, y'all couldn't even type. My fingers were just, you know how you feel when your leg fall asleep or something? Like my fingers were tingly and I couldn't even type my message. And I was shaking so bad. I was like, this is that lady energy, damn. And so when I get back on the call, I was cool. I wasn't shaking no more. I was at ease. I was at peace when I said that to her. And she was like, oh, no, that's it. Thank you. I should be expecting a call. Yes, you should. The nurse should be contacting you shortly. I have your contact information just to reconfirm. Your phone number is blah, 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 correct? Yes. Okay, great. All right, they will be contacting you shortly. And then she was going to get off the phone. How come I did this? Which is just a natural thing for me to do anyway. But on this particular call, I didn't have to do what I did next, which is very helpful for her. I said, and also, she's like, okay, well, I do appreciate that. I will look out for the call. I was like, okay, I could have ended it. And then I said, well, do you have your case number? Oh no, I need that. Yeah, I will take it. I was like, okay, I'll give it to you whenever you're ready. Gave her case number and that. And then she's like, okay, so someone should be calling me. I was like, yes, ma'am, they should. Is there anything else I can assist you with? Nah. All right, I'll just be listening. Thank you so much. I was like, okay, you have a good day, ma'am. You too. Where did the anger go? All of that. You did all of that. But Spirit told me, God, my Most High team was like, after she hung up, God was like, she had to sit there for 7 minutes to reflect on herself. I was like, oh. She had to reflect on how she was treating you, my child, because you were nothing but courtesy to her. You have been nothing but courtesy to people. Compassionate. Again, people don't understand your compassion to an evil ass world. They don't get it. Why are you being seen on top of the world when we still evil to you, trying to shut you down, talk you down, throw you down, keep you down? Like, why, how are you still standing up? And you're not even making a sound. You're not even raising your voice. So how is that possible? Because a lot of people don't have the heart of what you have. You have a heart of gold. Your high priest who is connected to source and building something for yourself. You're trying to help build humanity bit by bit. And I went to school for fashion design. Okay. And she is sewing here. She has all her fabrics in the back. You're creating something from scratch. You wear, like, if people wear your garments, they're cloaked in your energy. You're rebranding this world to recognize and realize how they treat people, and that they need to self-reflect, because it's a reflection of themselves to project it onto you. My energy again was like shaky. I was like, this is not me. Oh my gosh. And then when I got back on the phone, it was like Dr. Hyde, Mr. Jekyll, whatever that is. Jekyll, Dr. Hyde. But anyway, y'all, you could be too much for people. But Spirit said you're never too much. You just call judgment on people, and they can't take it because it's too much for them to handle. You call judgment. And that's why your wheel is always fortunate. That's why you're always blessed with spiritual currency. So even though your check might say $0.00, and you work 40 hours the whole week, how is that possible? Spirit said because you have spiritual currency. You don't need the dinero. It's just going to come current. Everything is current for you. Expedited request. Thank you, spiritual team. Just like that lady, she want to expedite a request. Spirit said, you ain't got to request it. It's just going to be expedited. People like her need to request it with anger and fueling fire to fire and trying to push it on and burn people down. As they do that, they burn their bridges. People be, I need this now, expedited, boom, boom. All the rudeness in the fucking world. And you burning your bridges along the way. Look at the world in the state that we're in. Bridges are being burned everywhere, left and right. Y'all just start seeing commercials. This is real talk. How this world is changing. I done seen commercials about, or ads I would put it, because I don't really watch TV, but even the shows I do watch, like on, my mom has YouTube TV. I watch HGTV. I love that show. Oh my God. The Home Network. Love it. But I'm upset that they took off Married to Real Estate with Egypt and her husband. What's her husband's name? Derek? Wait. Oh, man. Forget his name. But I love that show. They're so beautiful. I've been watching Egypt since Property Virgins. She's amazing. And she lives in my city, ATL. Actually, my mom saw her at Publix, and she saw her husband at Planet Fitness one time. I'm like, Mom, you done met the husband and the wife. That's amazing. My mom has seen them and met and talked to them in person. So anyway, that's another story. But I love that show with them on it. But forgot my train of thought, y'all. It just left me. It did. It literally just left me. But you are getting your 10 of Pentacles. Speaking of them, they a power couple. Thank you, Spirit. Her and her husband a power couple. You got a power couple. Look, and lovers. Oh shit. Okay. Yeah, Egypt. Egypt and her husband are power couple. See, you have a power mission. And even Married to Real Estate got canceled. And they're one of the best shows on that station. They got canceled. Everybody's like, what? How is that possible? People will try to cancel you out because they can't figure you out. 44 on the timer. Your wheel is always fortunate. They want to expedite with anger and malice. And this world, I was getting back to this world. If we look at the state of the world, the ass. Thank you, Spirit. Now, whatever I'm watching, an ad will come through about a state. Oh, visit Texas. Oh, visit Las Vegas. Oh, don't forget DC or New York or something like that. Like all these tourist attractions. Well, ain't no traction from the tourists because of this tension in the world. So now they're trying to cater towards the people who live in the states. Hey, don't forget this state. Why is that? Because you putting out evil, expedited requests to make a stance, to keep some power and have control. And you're being mean to people while you do it. The whole world, these leaders, like politics, I don't fucking care. If you see my message, hello. If you've been watching it to this far, the state of the world is a serious matter right now. So you, High Priestess, for this card to have stayed on the table with the building card, and I'm hearing the gift of isolation. And you have the gift of isolation to work on your spiritual gifts, on your spiritual calling, and listen and take heed to the message and be silent. It's never too much because judgment is here. So as the world is getting cleansed and it feels like it's an end, it's really judgment being called on people who need to cleanse and end all this negative ass hate in their heart. And that is why you stand on top of the globe, because you connect with, again, all genres of the soul. It's not genres of culture or genres of age brackets or status. No, you connect with genres of cultural individuals of all kinds. Just like I said earlier, I listen to all kinds of music. I don't care if it's country, rap, hip hop, neo soul, pop. It could be folk music. I don't know. If it's a good tune, some blues, listen to that. Some jazz music. Retro, funky DJ type vibes. Like, I'm here for it. Techno, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. You have to have an open mind in this closed off world. So many people's minds are closed off, and it's sad. And so you have closed yourself off. All right, Spirit has ordered you to be closed off to save you and protect you as you learn how to shift and help heal and cleanse all this dark energy out of humanity. That's why you can't be distracted, boo-boo. I heard that earlier. You got to focus. And sewing, you got to, that's a focus thing. Because if you mess up, you're going to have to take that seam out again. Get that seam ripper and take that thread out and try to do it again. Or if you cut it wrong, now you got to cut the fabric again. You are doing this in a direct, precise way. I'm hearing the direction. You are really paying attention to what direction you're in. And people don't know what you're doing. They don't know they can't see it. But they see you and they watching you. You got admirers from near and far, behind the scene and in person. And if you're not on social media, again, how can you still be on top of the globe if you're not posting? How can you still be on top of the globe if you're not expediting this with force? Your request. You got people requesting and demanding to be in positions that they weren't called to do or pursue. Everybody mission different, but some people want to take your mission or take this other person's mission. just to expedite what they want. They just want wheel of fortune. They just want fortune, fortune, fortune. And they just want to be seen by the world for greed intentions. And that's why judgment has been called. So y'all, I'm going to look up never too much. Oh, look, and it is 12:22. Can't make that shit up. Oh. Hold on. Okay. 12:22. And so this is what I'm happy that these cards came out. I'm still gonna get a T message. We almost to an hour, so thank y'all so much. But I wrote down some energy, so let's see. The first thing I wrote, which might more than likely be the title of this message, maybe. So it says, your absence speaks loud without saying anything at all. That was basically the gist of the message, because I didn't even think that call that I had was going to be a part of this message, but it came up. And I had to absent myself from the call. Excuse me, 50-50 on the timer, spiritual birth. Yep. I had to isolate myself from her anger during that call, which spoke loud in that moment for 7 minutes. I didn't say anything. So when I came back on the phone, her energy had changed. Maybe her husband talked to her. Hey, calm down. You be a little rude. She's trying to help you. Who knows? Or maybe she thought to herself like, yeah, well, this girl, she is trying to help me. Let me be quiet. And if it was none of that, Spirit just shut her up. Because you calling us for assistance. I'm trying to help you and assist you. You could have got another coworker that I know would have been rude and probably hung up the phone. Oh, I know that for certain. But sometimes Spirit and God will direct people to your path to teach them how to treat people. You get what I mean? You're one of those people who brings judgment. It's judgment being called all over the world. When you think about the rapture and judgment and Book of Revelations, if biblical terms are end of days, even if you're not spiritual or religious, whatever you want to do, to each their own, to whoever and whatever it may be, whoever, whatever's. Okay, however you identify yourself as well, it is time to really figure out how you treat people regardless. And judgment is being called on those in this time. So your absence speaks loud without saying anything at all. And then I heard bare minimum and reciprocation. Yeah, people give you bare minimum and you trying to reciprocate, and you've over constipated. Compensated, but I'm hearing constipated. Like some people are very constipated, like holding shit in, basically holding shit in literally, and they sitting on it. They sitting on their own shit. I mean, they making their own self constipated. Like, come on, but they want somebody else to compensate for holding shit in. No. You want to throw your shit at everybody else because your shit hitting the fan. Don't bring that shit over here. Okay? Just saying. I'm trying to assist and help. But you want to bring your shit over here and expedite demands. And that's why shit is now hitting the fan. I'm hearing that's why shit is now hitting the fans. Plural. Because you got people out here in this world who want to expedite shit. And all they doing is creating shit hitting the fan left and right. And that's why these ads going to be popping up. Hey, visit here, travel here. Because outside people of this continent don't care to come over here. Or vice versa. However this goes. We're not going to get political here. This is not a debate. I'm just saying it goes with the message. Hey, I'm a messenger. I heard earlier, don't shoot the messenger. I heard that. Shooting the messenger because you trigger people. It may be a trigger warning. I don't know. It could be a trigger warning kind of video. So then, kid y'all not, look. Absent for protection. Isolate, isolation. I wrote that shit right before I sat down at 11:22. And here we are with this message. Then I heard walking red flags, green flags. You're going to meet some red flag people, but you also got some green flag people that's walking around you. But I also heard history notes. History repeats itself. You might have repetitive cycles of meeting people like this, but you have taken notes throughout your own personal spiritual history or just the history of mankind to understand how to identify when they are walking red flag or a green flag, how to go forward, how to stay mute, how to go silent, how to have your absence speak louder than words. Because again, your absence speaks loud without saying anything at all. You've learned, you took history notes how to do that, how to walk in that. And a lot of people like to come back. You can have somebody that said, I've worked on myself, I've healed myself, I have this brand, I have this company, I'm a coach, I have these credentials. Again, like that lady was saying on the phone, thank you, spiritual team, I've done this and blah, 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 blah. Throwing all her credentials out. But why are you so evil? If you know that, if you know that insurance companies or things take time or how a claim is processed and when we receive it, did you actually work for my company or was it your company? Because I'm pretty sure whoever was on that call was told a standard review takes this amount of time. And if it's entered in the system, that's when they entered it in the system. So if that logical thought is out your mind because you demanding, and you're upset, you're not listening because you don't care to listen at this point. And I was from the jump was going to expedite it anyway. I had said that at the very beginning of the call that I was going to reach out to the nurse and da 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 da. She didn't hear it like that. People are not listening in this world to what's right in front of them. And unfortunately, they're taking it out on people like yourself, Chosen. Because you should know, because you're the high priestess. So what's going on? And that's why you isolated yourself, because people probably overtook you and took you for granted trying to get information for you to expedite their request as a reader, as a high priestess, as a spiritual healer for humanity. Because they know that you're going to be seen and heard and people are going to listen and watch. And you're attracting negative vibes, dark vibes, light vibes, good vibes of all sources, okay? Humanity of all kind will come your way. And then I heard reoccurring history genes, DNA protocol, recall, total recall, and recall of products. So your DNA is different. You're recalling like all these default people. You know how you have a product that's on recall, so they pull it off the shelves. You're taking these defective products or DNA that people have, you're pulling it off the shelf, and you can't put it back on the shelf until it's okay, until it's been approved. So again, judgment. Most High is approving judgments. Oh shit. Most High has approved a lot of judgment calls, and a lot of people ain't gonna be prepared for it. Well, damn, because they've been test tube dummies. And I said, like the old school car crash commercials. Y'all remember those car crash commercials? A dummy would be in there and they would crash the car on purpose to see how bad the impact would be. That's who you are. That's why people think you're too much. But Spirit said you're never too much, never too much. And then the positive and electrons. I just think that's just going to identify human DNA. Because you just identifying positive and negative DNAs out here. Luther Vandross, never too much. So we're going to go over an hour with this, y'all, possibly. So thank you for your patience. So we're going to get to this never too much, y'all. This was in 1981. Okay. It says, I can't fool myself. I don't want nobody else to ever love me. You are my shining star, my guiding light, my love fantasy. There's not a minute, hour, or day that I don't love you. You're at the top of my list because I'm always thinking of you. I still remember days when I was so scared to touch you. So see, people are scared to touch you, but they still want to be near you because you just are so much to grasp, like they're still infatuated. I'm gonna come back and do a message on that because I don't want this to reach an hour. Hopefully this did resonate and you got something from it. If you did, thank you for being here. The T Oracle. Oh, Spirit said the T Oracle. You demand respect, and that's that. Respect and spirituality means honoring the diverse paths that lead to enlightenment and embracing the sacred essence that unites us all. And on that note, you demand respect, and people gonna respect you because your clairvoyance. you see what I'm saying? Clairvoyance is a divine gift that unveils the veils of illusion, revealing hidden truths that shape our journey through the cosmos. Yep. Your clairvoyance demands respect, and that's why people think you too much. But hey, that's on them to figure out. They need to respect themselves, because how can you demand respect if you don't even respect yourself or respect others? I'm gonna end it there, yo. If it did not resonate, do not force the fit of this message. Peace, love, and light to you guys. Thank you so much. Namaste.